welcome to another episode of the all new TTown 411 report and our community conversations. I'm here at McKinstry Banquet Hall, along with my good friend Mike Wilson of 106.1 at Sound Booth Radio. You can chime in with us on YouTube TV, 106.1, and Mike, tell them how can they sound in with you on Sound Booth Radio 106.1.
Sure thing, Daryl. Check us out on the radio side of Soundbooth Radio. Just go to your iOS or your Google Play Store, download the Live 365 app. Once you download that app, then you type in the search bar Soundbooth Radio 106.1. That gets you on with us on the radio side of Soundbooth Radio. To check us out on the video side, just go to Facebook, type in Soundbooth Radio 106.1, or you go to my personal page, Michael K. Wilson, or you can go to YouTube and type in Soundbooth Radio 106.1, and that'll get you on with us on Soundbooth TV.
Okay, let's hold and bring Veronica in right quick. We're going to bring Veronica in to do our COVID update that she's been providing with us so gracefully for the last couple of years. So, Veronica, you there?
Hey, y'all. I'm sorry about that. I'm moving around. I got the COVID. You ready for the COVID?
Yeah, we wait.
Okay.
Let you get a COVID update right quick.
Okay.
I understand.
Trying to get out these fellows. Hey, COVID-19 update. DCH Health Systems will update later this week. On last week, they didn't update on Wednesday. They updated on Thursday, 21st. So I'll check tomorrow and Thursday. But per the New York Times, as of July 25th, 2022, Alabama has an average of 2,449 cases. That's the daily average. But they have 5,727 new cases. So y'all be careful. This variant, they say, is more contagious, and the United States is now leading the way with monkeypox. So be careful. Keep your hands to yourself. Wear your mask. Just be careful.
Will do. Thank you so much, Veronica, for providing us with the COVID update. And here is our disclaimer. And it reads, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Acts of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. And we also like to let people know the opinions expressed in this presentation are my personal opinions and must not be construed as representative opinion of any institution with which I am or have been affiliated in my professional life. And that goes for Mike and Veronica and all the ones that call in. These are people's personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the opinion of any agency or institution that we've worked for or worked for in the past or previous. So we just want to thank everybody, let everybody know on that. Also, we want to say a quick prayer as we always do each and every week here on the TTown 411, our community conversation program. If you all will just join me on a quick prayer tonight. Bow your heads, please. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace and your mercy, Heavenly Father. We just want to come to you and say thank you for giving us another opportunity to come on the air and share this valuable information and learn from one another. Heavenly Father, we're praying for all our essential workers right now, especially right now during this time of COVID. We're asking that you continue to look over all the nurses and doctors and CNAs and cooks and housekeeping, laundry department, everyone that's working in the hospitals. We're asking that you continue to look over them. We're asking that you continue to look over the nursing home personnel too, Heavenly Father. Look over all the ones that are in need of healing right now in the hospital. We're asking that you continue to watch over all our pastors and all our government officials, our presidents, our governors, our mayors, our council and commissioners, asking that you continue to bless them and their families also. We're praying for our families as they pray for us. We're asking that you continue to do the job and go with the ones that are in need of the beneficiary family right now, the benevolent families right now, Heavenly Father right now. We're asking that you continue to let them know that you're in charge, and we are praying for them as they celebrate the loss of their loved ones, Heavenly Father. In your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Yes. Sorry about that. Just so much going on, so many things going on right now. Um, just want to pray for everybody, especially with, like you said, Veronica, this monkeypox is coming around and it's taking out. We as in the United States leading as usual. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll come back, show a couple commercials, and make a couple announcements, and then we'll be right back, y'all. So stay tuned.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother? I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. Oh, all I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Red Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Get your event jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email them at shinesbrightly@yahoo.com. Caroline Shines and Impulse, the band made just for you.
Well, we're back. We want to inform everyone about a upcoming event that's going to take place. This is being held by the Tuscaloosa Police Department. Investigator Darnell Cousette Memorial Ride is going to take place on Sunday, August the 21st. Kickstands up at 11 a.m. and you can register. Registrations at 10 a.m. $25 for riders and $10 for passengers. This is a 52-mile route on I-2059 and Highway 11. It's going to start at TTown Harley Davidson, 6401 Interstate Drive in Condell, Alabama 35405. And all the proceeds to fund the Fallen Officer Memorial at TPD headquarters. So they're putting up a new memorial, uh, Fallen Officer Memorial at headquarters there, and it's one outside. I think it's time to upgrade it there. And this is being done and hosted by the Tuscaloosa Police Department, T-Town Harley Davidson, Buffalo Rock, and one other sponsor. So if you're interested and you're a bike rider and you'd like to join this and make a donation for the bike ride, this would be a great opportunity to help and honor our good friend, Investigator Dornell Cousette. That will be taking place on August the 21st. Kickstand is at 11, registration's at 10 a.m., so don't forget about that. Also, just want to remind everybody about the Friday Night Live that take place. This is a youth program for ages 6 to 17, hosted by our very own Shelton State Community College Para 92.9 WTUG, The Block. They have free food, free games, PlayStation tournaments, DJ dancing, face painting, nail paintings, and more. And the next one is at, let's see, Friday, July the 29th. That'll be this Friday night at the Belk Activity Center. And it's from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Belk Activity Center. That's Friday Night Live youth program for ages 6 to 17 held at the Belk Activity Center, and it started at 7 p.m. I'm not sure if there are cost. I think it's free. I'm not sure. I don't see anything about a cost. But anyway, it's free food, free games, PlayStation tournament, dancing, face painting, along with nail painting and more. And if you're looking for something for your kids, this will be an excellent thing. Friday Night Live at the Belk Activity Center. Now, the next Friday is August the 12th, which will be the weekend of back to school. They will be hosting one at Haycourt from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturday, August the 13th at Palmo Park, which is the big finale, I think, at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So you can come on out for that event that's taking place there. Let's see. And on next week, we will probably have our very own Tina Sanders on the program, who's the promoter of No More Tears. She's hosting Miss Leroy Hall, which is your favorite motivational speaker, street poet. She will be at McKinstry Banquet Hall on September the 10th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And tickets are $30, and she will, come in and talk to us and give us more information for that particular event that's coming up, and that's September the 10th. September the 10th. Mark your calendars for that, and we will have her on the program with us real soon about that. Coming up real soon is the My Black is Blue. This is a stage play that's taking place on Saturday, August the 20th. And they have two times, one at 2 p.m. and one at 7 p.m. And this is written, directed, and produced by Ms. Shawana D. Moore, starring Xavier Anderson. And tickets are only $15, and you can get those tickets. You can inbox me and get you more information about the ticket for My Black is Blue. This is a stage play that's going to take place at the Alberta School of Performing Arts. My tongue is tied today. And if you're looking for more information, you can inbox me about that particular event that's coming up soon also. Want to let people know, if you're still interested in law enforcement, Aliceville Police Department is now recruiting police officers, offering a $1,500 sign-on incentive available for officers, school paid by city state retirement. And if you're interested, you can call 205-373-2517 or go to www.cityofaliceville.com. Once again, www.cityofaliceville.com. That'll get you in contact with someone with the Aliceville Police Department if you're interested in becoming in the law enforcement field. Hey, don't forget about Next Step. Next Step, or that take place at Greater Faith Church in Mountville. The flyer won't come up, but don't forget about it. It goes on each and every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And you can bring the kids out for that particular event, so don't forget about that. That's taking place also. Mike, tell us one more time. I think for some reason, that flyer is not transporting about the gospel explosion.
Well, the gospel explosion is going on September 25th, and it's going to be at the Bob Miller Center. And I'm trying to remember the time. I think it's 2 to 6, 2 to 7.
Okay.
Um, but they are looking for gospel artists, or singers, songwriters, or performances for that event. There are going to be vendors out there as well. We're gonna have her back on Thursday. She had a little rambunctious child on her last attempt at doing the show, so she's gonna come back on and explain a little bit more about the whole entire gospel explosion on Thursday. So it is. I think the cost is $10. It's $10 or $15. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's $10, and the seniors get in for like $5.
Okay. Okay. Well, we want to thank you about that and thank her for informing us about this. Tonight we're going to talk about. We got other things we want to talk about. I mean, it's not just the pastor that got robbed. You know, there was a pastor, and I'm gonna read the headline. Brooklyn pastor say he and his wife were robbed of more than $1 million in jewelry while preaching. So I guess my topic of the night: will a man rob God? Yeah, I guess that's the
Yes.
question. Will a man rob God? Now I'm not going to use that. This is a man of God and his wife that was robbed in New York, in Brooklyn, New York, and this is actually did happen. And I'm gonna see can I get it over and seen it. If those of you haven't seen it, let's see. A flashy Brooklyn pastor known for wearing designer outfits and extravagant jewelry say he was robbed along with his wife for more than $1 million while he was preaching at church Sunday. Police said they received a report that three people entered the leaders of Tomorrow Church Sunday with firearms and removed the jewelry Pastor Lamore Miller Whitehead, who goes by Bishop, and his wife were wearing. Police notified the investigation is ongoing. Part of the reported incident was captured on video from inside the church. A portion of the live stream was obtained by CNN affiliate WCBS before it was removed and shows at least one perpetrator holding a gun on the pastor and interrupting his service. Uh, let's see. Well, let me see. I'm trying to see. Can I pull it up? Let's see. Okay. All right. Whitehead says in the video as he raises his hand and lowers himself to the floor. The video is no longer available on church live stream, but Whitehead told WCBS what happened. That all right is pretty much stating that I'm not going to do anything right because I know y'all coming for me. Y'all coming straight to me. I don't want my parishioners hurt. He said I got women and children there. As I got down, one went to my wife and took all her jewelry and had the gun in front of my 8-month-old baby Faith. He continued. Took off my bishop rings, my wedding band, and took off my bishop chain. And then I had chain underneath my robe. And he stated tapping my neck to see if there was anything else. So that means they knew, they watched, and they knew that I have other jewelry, he said. Whitehead said there were gunmen with firearms raised to deacons at the door as well. There were about 20 to 25 congregants present, police said. My church is traumatized, Whitehead said. The New York Police Department said they received a report that the suspect took more than $1 million worth of jewelry and then fled the location on foot. They reportedly entered a white Mercedes-Benz vehicle and were seen traveling eastbound on Avenue D, police said. Whitehead is offering a $50,000 reward for information that will lead to the arrest of people he says robbed him Sunday and wants justice. I want these men arrested, the pastor said in an Instagram video posted Monday. I know somebody knows something. I want to make sure that you all know that I am invested into this. He also said the security system inside the church is going to change and that he plans to hire a therapist for the church to talk to members and children how to cope with what happened. Um, New York's he completed his study with certificate in ministry and human services from the Theological Institution of Raising Hope Incorporated. It taught him as licensed New York State chaplain and a certified marriage and funeral official. In 2003, he founded Leaders of Tomorrow Ministry in Brooklyn. His bio state, his church bio also say he was adopted as a mentee by Eric Adams, the former Brooklyn borough president and current mayor of New York. No one in the city should be the victim of armed robbery, let alone our faith leaders and congregants worshiping in a house of God. Adams said in a statement, the New York Police Department is investigating this crime and work tirelessly to bring the criminals involved to justice. Whitehead encouraged those responsible to turn themselves into police. I forgive you and I'm praying for you. You know, and I hope that God delivers you from the mindset who you are at this time, he said. Whitehead and his church have not returned calls for comment. The pastor made headlines in June when he said he was involved in trying to negotiate the surrender of a man accused of shooting and killing a Goldman Sachs employee on a New York City subway. Police ultimately arrested the man before he could voluntarily surrender. Whitehead's verified Instagram account details his extravagant show of wealth, including Louis Vuitton suits, large jewelry, and flashy cars. In a video on Sunday night, he pushed back against the media headlines referring to him as flashy. It's not about me being flashy, it's about me purchasing what I want to purchase. He said, it's my prerogative to purchase what I want to purchase. If I work hard for it, I can purchase what I want to purchase. And I'm going to see, can I get the video up right quick? Um, he said, hey, let's see, can we get this to play? It was sent to me. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get this to play. How many of you have lost your faith because you saw somebody else die what you about to go through? Yo, all right. Yo, right. Okay, so we can hear it. So let me see, can I get it set up where we can send it over and watch it right quick, guys. Mike, anything you want to talk about while I get that going?
You know, there I was just thinking, like I have actually talked to a couple of people. We had a conversation a couple of weeks ago about how nowadays security had to be strictly enforced in the church. You happen to have more armed security guards and police officers and so forth and so on at your churches now doing service. And you have some people who, anytime you come in late, they're looking at the doors of the church to make sure we know who that is coming in. Mm-hmm. They just don't feel safe in church anymore. This is a prime example. It used to be a time when you go to a church, the only thing you thought about receiving was the word, and now a lot of people are really and truly trying to make sure that don't nothing else happen. You know, any other violent act can happen. Correct. You hear about churches getting robbed all the time. You hear about them, the sound systems getting taken out of churches and everything. But to go in the middle of a service and rob somebody, that's just next up to me. It really truly is. I know we had Tina Sanders watching the show. I was hoping that she might get a chance to call. I don't know if she knows anything about that one. Yeah, as it is in two different parts of New York. But actually, she's the one that informed me about it. I'm trying to pull it up and see, can we? I think I got it here, but let's see, can I get it from that point? We might not be able to see it full screen, so we're gonna try to. We're gonna try to. Man, you know, broad daylight, Mike. This is the word. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Doing church service, and you have no to hold a firearm in front of a baby. He said was 8 months old. The baby was 8 months old. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? As many children as we see leaving this world right now,
Okay, Mike. Let me
Active
see if I.
militants and everything, and you're gonna pull a gun just to get some jewelry.
Let me see. Can I get it to play now? I think we got it. Hold on, Mr. Porter. I'm gonna let you come in on after this. How many of you have lost your faith because you saw somebody else die what you about to go through? Yo, yo. All right, right. All right. Yo, all right. Hello? Yeah, I'm here. I said I'm in there. We watching the video right now. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at it on my other phone. So, let's say, is this coordinated? Look like it, man. Hold on. Nico, go. Just stay. Stay. Don't move. Come here. Come here. Come. Go to your mom. Go to your mom. Go to your mom. Go. 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 Jesus. Just stay there, okay? Come. Come. Come on. Come on, Jalen. Just don't worry about no fucking iPad. Come on. It's an exit this way. Come on. It's an exit. You gotta exit. Stay right here. Sit. 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 Mike. I'm here. Broad daylight, a robbery of a church, a man of God, and his family just took place this past Sunday. Have we not been talking about the things that are now, you know, this is not normal. This is not the 1970s where people were, afraid to take a weapon, any kind of weapon to church. So we're back to the point now where people are going to have to be more prepared with a security plan, and that's all to it. Yeah, Tina's still on. I'm sorry out there. Okay. I was trying to announce that we got your team something. Okay. I know, but I'm saying I know she's on. Is she still? Tina, are you still there? Uh huh. Talk to us, Tina. Okay. Okay, I got a question. It's a very important question. Mm-hmm. You probably already heard it because you know the area. You know what's the possibilities that this was known about before we start. Talking about how much like because we have legit truly been talking about the security that's needed. But I got several friends in Brooklyn. I got several and have thing like, and I don't know. I'm not gonna put that on him because I don't know. And just because he's been associated and was a mentee of the mayor, that doesn't mean he would or wouldn't do anything. But when somebody's wearing that much, you start getting into like pastors can do what they want to do. They are still human. But when you wearing, because it went from 400 some thousand, you wearing like $1 million worth of jewelry, and y'all know things are insured. So Tina, you already know where I'm going because that's where everybody up there has been going. Before we start just getting into the security aspect of it.
Because it was all set up. It was all planned. You pay attention to
Okay.
the minister.
Okay.
You pay
Okay.
attention to the minister sitting there in the seat.
Right.
He ain't budged, even after everybody was, the men were gone. You see how calm,
Right.
but
Right.
in our reports, and I can only say so much, but it
Mhm.
ain't,
And see, that's why I wanted to ask, because
it's,
what
it's,
Daryl's
it's,
going
yeah,
is legit. But
it is
what I've
legit,
been
but
hearing
he
from
just
family
being
and
in legit.
friends, this particular situation, I've been
Mhm.
hearing like a half and half. And when you that flashy, and then he was like, okay, not me. And people saying, well, he wouldn't have these, he wouldn't be playing that, and they holding the gun on the kids and stuff. But if you know nothing's gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? I
But
mean,
see,
people do some crazy things. It's
he's saying
2022.
all that, but
Right.
we never, in our report, it was never mentioned that the gun was on the kid.
See, and see, that's what I'm
So,
saying. It
and
doesn't
that,
matter who he's affiliated with. He may be affiliated to a mayor. The mayor may be a good man, but he's human. And if this was real, I'm praying for them regardless, because if he made it up.
yeah,
But I've been hearing too much of the half and half.
it
And
was
so
the
I know
in-house
Daryl was about to
deal.
dwell into the security part. But before we got to that,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wait a minute, I got to get this out first.
Yeah, you can tell it was an in-house setup. It's just always stood up,
Okay.
and the thing, you could tell. I'm trying to just talk right, but you could tell that it was in-house. You could just
I
tell. I
got
mean,
you. I got
if you look at the minister sitting right there at the altar, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you. Hmm.
it's just stuff. But
And
now,
he
and
talked a
then
little
think
bit too
about
much
this.
as well.
Right, and the other part too, why didn't take the offering and all that stuff in the church?
Right.
Because that had been taking place already,
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
and the
Mm-hmm.
offering was still there. Because
Mm-hmm.
if it's a thief, it's a thief. They're taking.
Mm-hmm.
And they ain't just taking you and your wife. They're taking everybody. So they're taking
Mm-hmm.
purses, cards, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Keys,
Mm-hmm.
A real thief.
phones, everything.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
you can replace your stuff easier than replacing somebody else's. And so I'm hearing a lot of stuff from my folks. So I just wanted to ask you because I
mm-hmm.
was wondering anyway, and this is sad. We have to think that when stuff happens like that, I'm like, first when I first hear, I'm like, thank God nobody's hurt. But then when you
Right.
start to talk about his history and then the way he's well known and then the flashiness, and I'm like, okay. Then he starts talking about me, me, me. They're coming. They want me. No, like, why? Why would you think that? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's during service. I don't know. It was just me just quoting what he's saying.
And
It's like,
the other part to it is just pay attention. Because now some
right.
stuff can start flowing.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow, some stuff can start flowing,
Mm-hmm.
because we in some situations where we need some stuff taken care of, and I'm gonna leave the subject alone.
That's
So
why
the
I said, I'll leave it
insurance
alone. Yeah.
will take care of that. But
So, so
because everything, jury, all of his stuff is insured.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's why I told him to leave
that
it alone.
should.
But I just had to ask you because I'm talking to people that know the area, know the person, So I'm like, okay, let me just ask Tina so now I get a clearer picture about what I really think or which way I'm
But
leaning.
the part of it that upset me was that you had the audacity to pull a stunt like this in the house
Right.
of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
So,
That's the thing.
That's the main problem.
That's regardless of whether it's real or not real, it was a stunt, it was planned, whatever it may be. Why would you pull a stunt in the church? And the other part of it is they knew exactly where everything was at on them.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
now
Everything.
now,
Detailed.
Even what was up under the clothing.
so
Right.
Tina, this what you're saying is I mean, y'all say set up. Most robberies are set up. I mean, most robberies that take place, they already then scope. They pray out. It's like ain't
But
nobody
we talking
there.
about in house.
Yeah, Dad, we know what you're talking about, but but what's
It's
out there?
We in house.
Yeah,
oh
that's a plan. That's a
That ain't
plan.
nobody that came and visited and scoped the building out.
look
Right.
This
look
in house.
listen. This I guess what I'm saying is it could be in house and we have in houses people watching our church. That's what I'm saying. We have people that
Mm-hmm.
watch your everyday movement or every Sunday movement, and might not show up another week or two. Might come in and visit this Sunday. Might not show up that next Sunday. Just kind of watching. Just setting you up for the same way everything goes. But most of the time, it is a setup. Most robbers is a setup of people that you know. Majority of the time, it's somebody that you know or been to your house or been to your church or been to your business, and they know your route. They know what's going on. And at the same time, but here's what I didn't like was he made a known that it was $1 million in jury. Why would you even
But it
put?
started out 400.
Exactly,
What,
exactly. Start
what,
out so that's what we saying. Yeah, it's a setup, but you got to be. To me, it's not about the setup. It's about the characters that play the part in the setup.
so who do you blame in this situation? The pastor?
No,
There, we talking about. We ain't blame nobody.
I ain't blaming nobody. I'm done. I can't talk about it no more.
Hey, I ain't me, Officer McKinney. Officer McKinney. You know.
Okay, right. Now move over to the officer side, sir. Move over to the
Look,
officer side,
I
Officer
told you what
McCool.
caught my attention from the get go when he used the word $1 million.
I told to dance around everybody,
So
move over to the officer side, sir.
okay, we got
Get your badge out the drawer.
we got Pastor Kai Porter on. Let's see what he got to say. Go ahead, Pastor Porter.
I'm agreeing with the women here because that was too calm. That whole situation is way too calm.
Way too
Like
calm.
I said, if you pay attention, you can see that everybody is too calm, and we all know in a robbery that just came out of nowhere. Black folks ain't that calm and quiet. That's not happening.
But
and as she said, if he had something to do with it, and you're a man of God, and you do that in the house of God, just so you can reap the benefits and spread it out to whoever was all involved because they played their part, you not only got to answer for yourself, you got to answer for their skin because you brought them in on it. Yet they help you, but they're going to answer for their own. He's put himself.
I'm with you, Pastor.
He's put himself in a grave, dangerous situation with God. Regardless of what man do, if he be caught, they had issues, he was involved. He put himself in a bad situation with the Lord, a real bad situation, because as she stated, as Tina stated, a real robber gonna rob everybody in there. They are not just going.
Truthfully, I think they would have got that. They would have got the offering first.
Yeah,
The offering is bad money.
They were gonna rob everything and everybody in there.
it's doing a service. It would it would have been. It wasn't even like he was like out of service and him and his wife had only been there. It was during. And then the setup, like Darryl said, yeah, everything's a setup, but the setup is you didn't even think it through. Just y'all two. Just y'all two. And then they went to they even asked you for the things that wasn't out, that was under your shirt and nothing else taken.
And that wasn't even visible under his shirt.
Exactly.
No, it was there.
But they tapped it. And then he talking so much. He said they tapped it. Or whatever, however it was that they referenced under his shirt. And I know people could know him in the streets and know that he'll have it up under there. But come on, you still talking a lot. You still talking a lot.
And then he offered a $50,000 reward.
That's all for front.
If he did it, that's what he paid them probably for the setup. Imagine what he's gonna get in return.
If he truthfully lost $450 worth of equipment, jewelry, but then he's saying now that it's $1 million, so that he can be insured up to $1 million, and then he gonna give back $50,000 off of that. He still been made what $550,000. After he give it up, he still made $5,000.
But no, it's more. And kept the jury though. And kept the jury. They getting that payoff. He got his jury back.
Yeah, they're gonna give his jury back.
Right. Even after he give $50,000 away.
But we saying he's gonna get that insurance, and he's gonna still have that same amount of jury to reinsure again. He's losing basically nothing, gaining a lot. If allegedly, Look, allegedly.
Yes, yes, listen. We make sure we put that part in there.
Yeah.
The part the most that just judges to me is that you're doing it in a church, doing service, and then you got kids present with firearms. Now, are we saying that everybody was involved in this conspiracy? I'm not gonna say everybody was involved.
No, some of them probably is just a surprise.
You know what I'm saying? That's the part that I'm getting to. You know what I'm saying? Like the things that could have went left. Somebody's heart could have been so bad, boy, they had a heart attack.
Exactly.
But somebody knew, because wasn't it like allegedly 20 deacons? Wasn't it like allegedly 20 deacons? I don't know if it was 20 deacons, it was about 25 people there. So there was a decent number of deacons, I would assume.
Well, they said
I
two.
just,
I
and
think he
then
said. I
what if
said.
somebody had tried to be a hero and they had got killed behind it?
Well,
Now you go to a murder charge.
let me read what 50 Cent said. 50 Cent also shared a video of the bishop on Instagram driving a convertible Rolls Royce wearing gold chains while listening to Jay-Z. Bishop, now you know damn well you can't do this in Brooklyn if you're smacking shit for real.
That's right.
Now that comes from 50 Cent. Now that's what he said. You know, you can't do this in Brooklyn.
That's one of the things I looked at also. For him being at church, as small as it is, you ain't get that as a gift from your membership. It ain't that big. That church ain't that big. So I don't know what his occupation is, but it's paying him more than what the church could afford to pay him. Whatever he's doing, whether it's legal or illegal. Now we don't know, but no, you ain't riding around in no car like that in that small of a church. There's not too many that I know of pastors who have larger churches riding around in cars like that.
But can we be honest though? A lot of those pastors that are in those mega churches, they probably could have a car like that. They just choose not to have a car like that. So
they get paid a stipend, so they add up how much they will make through their whole year of preaching and give them that payment in a stipend. So they're gonna get paid every Sunday. They get paid in one walk every year.
I mean, I don't know what else he do. I know a lot of pastors do have other jobs, but when he addressed the flashy comment, he said he worked hard for it. He is not about being flashy. He gets what he wants. So what is his other occupation? Now that I haven't heard what it is, but I know some other stuff that man said, but I don't know what it is.
Well, according to this, now this is say how rich is Lamar Miller Whitehead? Net worth in 2022 as Bishop Rob Livestream. Bishop Lamar Whitehead enjoys a wealthy and opulent lifestyle thanks to his enormous wealth. Brooklyn's Bishop Lamar Miller Whitehead is a well-known politician and community activist. He is currently the bishop and founder of the Leader of Tomorrow. After being stolen on a live webcast, he has recently become a hot topic on the internet and was known for his active lifestyle, and three robbers targeted him for his valuables. The bishop has since come forward and made a public statement regarding the robbery incident, regarding the terrible incident, and doing the very best in cases investigation. Meanwhile, his supporters have expressed curiosity in his opulent way of life and possessions. One of the wealthy bishops, he's one of the wealthiest bishops. Is also a well-known politician, community well renowned for showing off his expensive jewelry in public. Guidance and followers is streamlined. The nonprofit organization called Leader Tomorrow International Ministry is predicted to make less than $500,000 per year in revenue. The group is still waiting to publicly disclose its accountability and financial standing. Lamar nevertheless has a wealthy and pleasant life at home with his family. Additionally, the company itself appears to be highly valuable in the industry. He frequently seems to be the target of the public due to flashy lifestyles, and people have always been curious in his real estate. He can have stocks on both his name and his family name as a politician. Whitehead seemed to be quite discreet about his house and possession, though. Nevertheless, based on his way of living, he might also be the owner of a few estates. In 2022, Lamar Whitehead's net worth is projected to be at $2 million. He is a respected politician, a proponent of his community, and the bishop of Leaders of Tomorrow International Ministries. So,
What it sound like, y'all?
okay. He had a $75,000 Rolex watch, a 25,000 Eposco ruby and diamond ring, 75,000 Cavalier watch, a pair of $25,000 earrings, a 20,000 Eposco diamond ring, $20,000 diamond and emerald cross, a 10,000 Eposco gold cross, and a $20,000 Eposco cross were among the goods they stole. Total loot taken by the three armed robbers was $1,060,000. Now that must be the insurance value, because based on
That's the word they got for the insurance company. Yeah. So they get reimbursed.
so the 75 and 25, that's only 100,000. 75 and another 25, that's 200,000. Plus 20 plus 20, that's 40. 10, that's 50, and 20, that's 70. So that's $270,000 for what was reported on net right there.
And if a person is going to do that, they're going to try and get back whatever they paid into taking care of it anyway, protecting it anyway.
Right, right. So the insurance company now, what would you give? Do you think the insurance company gonna give $1 million compared to what it's valued at?
When all said and done, he gonna wind up putting some more stuff on.
Depends on how much he has insured.
Because I think that $1 million is supposed to include what he had on plus what his wife had. So I think that's all what he had on. But one thing I heard you say, did you say he had two wives?
Yeah, I think it was I know a Rolex that was 75,000 and another watch. Let's see, I lost the article.
And I mean, no business, no passes, but why all that?
I was just gonna say because I can't see. So watch that guy don't talk to me.
Well,
Yeah,
what?
you got a watch on, right?
I don't even wear jewelry, Mike. I don't even like wearing jewelry.
Well, because I want to know how many people actually walk around with two or more watches on.
Now, somebody like you said, Tina, it initially was $400,000 in jewelry during church service, but I guess it's valued at $1 million.
No, I told you that it went from 401 report to $1 million in the CNN report.
I'm not a fan of jewelry. I never have been. But if you walking up in church with all that on, you flashing. Just like your hot boys out in the street. Or just like the rappers up there in New York. You flashing. You flaunting. You drawing the eye of the criminal. You telling him, look, I'm doing this. I'm a pastor. They're gonna know already. You ain't got no gun on you.
Seems like the more money people have, the more money people want.
Who you trying to impress? And putting all that on. And you walking up in the house of God. You upsetting really that you don't know. You really upsetting your membership. You walking around with all that on, and they ain't got nowhere near that on. Come on, man. You want all the attention on you when you preaching because of what you got on, and they see it. You're not gonna be thinking about what you're talking about.
Look, I'm gonna do it for two reasons. I'm gonna say allegedly because I would hope that wouldn't happen to anybody, and so if it comes out, because I don't know the facts, but I just know what's been said. If it comes out that he didn't do it, I'm hoping for that. But I'm just gonna say allegedly with everything because I don't know 100%. But What if it was some type of okay, we did this. How do you think all these other churches gonna feel? And all the other his first of all his congregation, then the other, just the community churches. Anybody who this is a national story,
It,
so
it
you would
is.
hate for anybody to put anybody's life in danger. So I'm gonna say allegedly, and I really hope he did it, but there's a lot of stuff being said.
Now,
I'm gonna
if
say
this
this. I'm
turned to
gonna
be
say
a
this.
false report, he
When
need to be
anything
locked
go
up.
down with a pastor, anything, I don't care what it is. When anything go down with a pastor, a black pastor, white pastor, doesn't matter. We all get lumped in that same bunch.
Will a man rob God?
We all get lumped in that same bunch.
Will a man rob the man of God?
Whether he slept with another man, cheated on his wife, whatever he did, extorted money out the church, and that does happen. That happens right here in Tuscaloosa County. Often, actually, people extort money out of the members and visitors. We all get lumped in that bunch. To have those questions come in, like, all of us gonna do? What are you talking about? That's just a small number. That ain't every pastor's thought process. It's not every bishop's thought process. It's not their focus.
Paula said he put on all that jury just to come to church. All that jury. Well,
it sounds like there's a workout just to have all this stuff on.
It just seemed like it could have been a story to go like Daryl's way. He was saying it, but I just wanted to know because of what was a lot of people been saying. I've been hearing people address this that's from the area. Mm-hmm. So we really, I'm looking like, so really there's like a possibility of two conversations that can be happening about this whole. There's a possibility of a lot of conversations that can be happening, but definitely two.
Yeah. It's a lot of conversation can come out of it.
Why would you want to put yourself to the point where we're going to record the pastor being robbed of all this jewelry, make it a national, but not all eyes are on you and your church. Now, it could be that I'm trying to get all eyes on us so that the membership can grow and everything. That could be the case too. But when it's all said and done, more people, I think, going to be outraged at the fact that you had kids up in there. They had weapons turned on them.
Well, Mike,
that's one thing that bothers me.
What happens if this was a fluke? This was a inside false reporting. We in this together because here's two things went hand in hand with this particular case. They only like I said, they only stole the pastor and his wife's jewelry, but the getaway car is a Mercedes, a white Mercedes Benz.
A white Mercedes Benz. Yes.
Come on, guys. I mean,
so they had to run anyway.
A white Mercedes Benz is the getaway car. So I guess someone of status with a white Mercedes Benz robbing a pastor that got plenty of jewelry, and I guess I guess the next question: how many kids do we have? Do you think he got a teenage son or anything?
Tina, do you know anything about that?
I don't know. But he said something about the 8-month-old was his, wasn't it?
Yeah, we hear about the 8 month.
So I don't know how many. I don't know how many.
Grown 8-month-old wife.
One lady said he's robbing his church attendees. The other crooks robbed him. So go figure. A lot of people don't make $50,000 a year. This is why I stopped going to church years ago. The plate was coming by 3 or 4 times during service. One lady said $400,000 in jewelry. How many small businesses have they invested in? Right, and this church folks will make sure to give him another $400,000 for his loss. While they're struggling, they're keeping him rich. Woo! Of course they will. He preaches tithing, and it's important. Then someone says the devil walks the earth. No place is safe, including the house of worship. That being said, why didn't this church have a security staff? The church I attended has one, and the pastors don't fault their wealth. And praise God, no one was injured. Someone said, laugh out loud. This is a saga. Pimps in the pulpit. Woo, they is not easing up. Do you all really think he is a bishop? Let's see. More comments. Since this pastor is living like this, why would anyone make any donation to the collection plate when it's clear where the resources are going? And why did they have on $400,000 worth of jewelry? If that's not flashy, I don't know what is.
You look right there, Daryl, but let's be completely honest. They have some of these mega churches out here with pastors. There was a show that came on. I want to say it was We or Austin or something like that. Pastor Wives. It was the name of it, and it was a show with a bunch of pastors at mega churches, and some of the things that these people did, and all of them were living extravagant lifestyles. Also, and you was like, why would I give my money to them? Now you're not supposed to be giving your money to actually them. You're supposed to be tithing to the house of the Lord, but it's obvious where the money is going. And then you get people who in the national spotlight who say stuff like, uh, I had a vision that I'm supposed to get another plane because the plane we got ain't big enough. Yeah.
Well, like this,
Hey, we all in flying plane. What you mean?
this goes into this goes into a whole big subject of um and like Veronica said last week when the AKAs and the sororities had a show, they shut it down quickly. And I think the show that you're talking about, the Pastor Wife, I think it was shut down quickly. I don't think it had more than 2 or 3 episodes itself. So things that reveal um, misrepresentation of an organization, I think people speak up and speak out about it. And that's probably why the pastor's wife is not on anymore. And the other
Some of the interviews that were given were that too many people were asking questions about why these pastors and what did they do outside of the church for them to be living the lives that they live and living in the houses that they were living in, driving the cars that they were driving. And I don't think many of them had answers. Many of the people that were actually on the show had answers.
So I guess just a question: a pastor that's and this is your own personal opinion. So a pastor that take care that works or his family works and take care of his congregation and provides for his congregation and family on his own is worthy. But if a pastor is not working or don't have other sources of income, then the congregation is taken care of. Would that be fair to say that which one is right and which one is wrong? I mean, I applaud a pastor that provides for his own family.
I think it depends on the pastor. I was actually just this past weekend, this past Sunday, I was listening to a bishop say that he don't do pastor anniversary nor does he take a pastor salary because he want all the time and offering to go back into the community to help people. And every time you see them, they're actually giving things. They gave things to people. They don't even have to be a member. This particular they gave away groceries and gas cards and rents.
Well, Mike, that goes back to our years ago. Our expectations of the black church in our community. And, we talked about that, of course, and I guess it's time to talk about it again. The night won't hurt just a little bit more. But our expectations, like I said, what are our expectations? Why do we hold a pastor that works I mean, whatever job he has and provides for his family and does things in the church, or do we prefer a pastor that we're gonna take care of you, Pastor? We don't want you to work because we're gonna take care of you through our tithe and offering, but we want you to visit the sick. We want you to be seen in the public. We want you to ministering in the streets. We want. In other words, we want our pastor to be more involved, community oriented. Is that what we want, or do we want to see a pastor that, work or so? Let me ask you this: should a pastor be offered or paid? It's two different things. Offered or paid to do a wedding, funeral, or any other guest speaking? Should it be offered? Should it be an offering? Or should it be paid? Say, for example, if I'm getting married and I'm a member of that church, should the pastor be paid or offered? Given an offering, a funeral. If a member of the church died, should the pastor be paid or given an offering? What's your opinion on that? We'll start with Kyle Porter. Let's ask Kyle Porter first, and then we'll go around. And if you'd like to join the conversation, please don't hesitate. Call 310-6067 or 826-7661. I know it's a couple of people that, hey, it's pastors or associates, whatever you might be, and you want to join this conversation, you can. You can call us either number 205-310-6067. Once again, this is just your opinion.
For my pastor, my former pastor, what he taught us was
when he did what?
From what he taught us was from top to bottom that when it comes to payment, at first we started out getting offerings, but somehow the IRS got involved, so we had to start getting paid set check. And when it came to weddings, it was upon the couple that was getting married to offer a payment to us.
Now you use two words. You use two words.
Never nothing on $75.
Okay, you use two words that I just want.
When it came to a funeral, no, nothing.
So
that was a no. So you don't go to them for no payment, and if they come to you and say, we'll pay you to utilize our family member or whatever, no.
So let me ask you this. So, Cap Porter, so if it's a non-member, if you're a non-member of a church, and you want to use the church for a funeral, you're not a member, but your mama might be a member, and you're not a member. Is the church obligated to charge the family and the pastor being paid to perform the service, or an offering for the service?
Now, it's when it comes to the policy of the church, you pay the church for allowing them to open it up, and you have the funeral there. Because somebody got to come back behind you and spray it up and spray down and clean it up after everybody's gone.
Okay, I don't have a problem with that.
You don't pay the pastor. If you have a pastor that requires you to pay them, I suggest you go find somebody else.
So, in other words, if you pay to use the church and the pastor has a fee, and you don't want to pay the fee, then you ask for permission. Now, pastors sometimes some pastor might not relieve.
He said that my payment is in the fee, or you paying me to use the church.
Paying you to use the church.
Yeah, you paying for the use of the church. You can have anybody you want to preside over the music and preach over your family member. It doesn't have to be that pastor or that church.
You know, one thing with the changing of the marriage license here in the state, I could perform a marriage.
Yeah, you can.
So pretty much it's at the point, long as it's notarized. You
Yeah.
know, so I guess it depends on the couple. Do you want it to be performed by a pastor or a notary,
Yeah.
or just a family friend or uncle or cousin, whoever? That's what that did. But at the same time, how do you see it? How do you see that? Is or judge? I guess you can say. How do you see the difference of a payment or an offering? I mean, is it
The difference is they'll have to record it in the minutes during the business meeting, um, according to what was spent out
okay?
and to whom it was spent, it was given to. Like I said, the offering that comes directly from the people that goes to that minister directly.
Okay.
It shouldn't be taken to the back by the trustees and county. That should go straight to that individual at that point.
So it sounds like this pastor or this bishop up in New York has he has investment into real estate and different stuff of that nature. Sounds like. Do you
And if he
see?
has, that is a strong possibility because right now, in these past five, 4 or 5 months, it's been a seller's market,
Mm-hmm.
not a buyer's market.
Yeah, I agree with
And
that.
so, with inflation continuously rising, which is going to rise some more tomorrow, the report. When you're talking about New York, it's a lot going for real estate there.
Krista Gilmer says she feel it was an inside job. She think this was an inside job. She said the deacon was just sitting too calm. I mean,
yeah,
we
to
now,
me it was. To me, like I said, it didn't come off as a normal scene or reaction that you would see out of black people, period, whether the deacons or not.
well, I mean, you saw the after effect. I mean, you seen where the lady said, "Forget that effing
yeah,
that
that's one
iPad."
person. If the church had 25 plus people in there, you would have
Right,
heard more than that during the whole fiasco.
and it goes back to 4 men, probably 4 men, 2 deacons at the back, one in the front, and the pastor. That probably was the only 4 men that were probably affiliated, if you ask me. That's just my public opinion. Because you know the women always outnumber the men in churches, regardless of
Always,
what
always.
size, regardless small or large. But when you see fully black men with weapons, you really don't know how you might respond. But at some point in time, what we're gonna follow up on this story. We're gonna keep up with this story. Was it an inside job? Was it
Because I
arresting?
don't think we really even heard from like the one woman or whatever. I don't think we've heard from like 4 or 5 or 6 different people. Some people may have been too with everything that's been going on in society today. Some people may have been like, sometimes your senses kick in. Like I was saying, sometimes you get a nurse and God forbid something happens to somebody and they're trying to save them, they may freeze, and they do that every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the person. So with this stuff going on so much, they may have been so afraid that they froze because they don't want to do anything to cause them to do anything. And had it been more people, we don't know. It could have been whimpering, crying. We really don't know because if I'm not mistaken, we've only heard from that that one woman
Mm-hmm. And
or
I ain't.
whatever, but we don't know what the other ones could have been doing. And you know, the men, the deacons, that they say once they pull those guns, they can't move. Not too many men gonna whimper and cry, but you know, I don't know. I just that's why I just say I would hate to for that to have happened to anyone, and it wasn't planned. But then, if it was planned, what does that say about him?
Mm.
So that's why I say allegedly, but there's a lot of talk, and I understand why Tina doesn't want to say anything because there's a lot of talk, and that's why when Darren was saying, I'm like, okay, I want you to go ahead because that's a story. What you were talking about, those are situations. But then what's being said, it could be a whole totally different situation. It could be a 180. So it's like
You have to ask people who have ever been involved in some
it's
sort of
like,
robbery.
but we
And
talking about this particular situation though. But I mean, I don't know, Mike. If we talking about this particular situation, so we can ask people who've been robbed before. But like I said, with what's going on in today's society, you have somebody in that area, in Buffalo, comes into a store and kills all these people. You have this man goes into a school, kills all these people. These were mostly adults. They probably thinking, now adults ain't crazy. They probably thinking, man, free. They probably thinking nobody moves, nobody gets hurt before they even say it.
mm-hmm.
And then he jumps up saying, you know, he knew that they was coming for him. So people saying, how did you know? Why would you say that? If they just robbing the church, even though it was wrong because it was broad daylight, if that's what they're doing, why would you say that? And then if he did say that and it wasn't planned, then it's like 50 Cent says, dude, you riding around Brooklyn like that. So is that why you saying that?
Mm.
Because like I'm still saying allegedly, because like I said, I really, really would hope nobody would set that up inside. But we know, I mean, the details are the details. And we don't know all the facts, but the facts that we do know, we know. So I'm gonna say allegedly because I would hope nobody would do that. And but then I'm gonna say allegedly because we don't want to accuse them of it because we just don't know because the investigation isn't done. But there's some talk. So it's like it's the tale of the two tales to one story. It's like is where Daryl was going with it. We could have been like right now, we could have been all on that about church security.
Mm-hmm.
Or being that we know what's the rumblings, we on a whole different, you know what I'm saying? We're on a whole different spectrum.
Well,
So it's like how can it makes it so broad, like okay, the church security needs to be addressed.
yeah.
But then this particular situation, if it's if it was put in plan, then we need to be on this particular situation. You know what I'm saying? This particular situation. Like why would you do that? And we knew what you were gonna if it was planned, allegedly, we knew what the greed.
Well, just
It, it,
just looking at some of the stuff, like ads and stuff. Once you start looking him up, $350,000 Rolls Royce driving ex-con pastor who negotiated New York City subway killer surrenders. Dad of two served 5 years in jail before becoming a man of faith. Lamar Miller Whitehead is the founder of the church, Leaders of Tomorrow International Church in Brooklyn. He was once locked up for 5 years at Sing Sing for multiple counts of identity fraud and grand larceny. In 2000,
Oh man. Oh man.
okay, wait a minute. In 2006, he stole the identities of multiple people in Long Island and Brooklyn in a $2 million scam. The bishop, who was ordained in 2016, registered his ministry as a for-profit business in 2014, a year after being released. He also claims to have founded youth mentorship programs that have been rebuffed by New York Police Department and Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. Whitehead, who was reportedly been seen in a Maserati and a Bentley, also allegedly owes $250,000 in loans. The pastor showed up in a $350,000 Rolls Royce to negotiate the surrender of Andre Abdul on Tuesday. Abdul is accused of shooting dead Daniel Inquez on a platform on Q train at Canal Street Station on Sunday in an apparently unprovoked attack. Now, earlier we heard that the guy had already took it, turned himself in but the police had already had him before that it took place. But someone said he's an ex-convict.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot.
But he's also, I think, in the midst of, okay, so Whitehead, who was locked up for 5 years behind bars of fraud and grand larceny, was ordained as a bishop in 2016, 2 years after becoming a pastor. The pastor describes himself as a radical, revolutionary, innovative, anointed, and cutting edge on his ministry's website. Is the founder and leaders of Tomorrow Church, which he founded in Brooklyn in 2013, the same year he got out of jail. He has a wife and 2 kids.
Now, the fact that he was a convict, I can't necessarily speak against that because there are a lot of people that once they go into the system, they catch religion. I would say it like that. They find religion and they turn their complete life around because of it. So I'm not gonna just because he was a convict, but
Well, I'm saying no one's
I'm not gonna say it's because he's a convict either, but I'm gonna say what the crime was.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So you mean you're a convict, but look at the crime as well. The crimes are for me. The crimes are so similar.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. It's hard to overlook stuff like that. It's hard to overlook, grand larceny. To overlook, what else you said there? What else he
Mike said he forgot the rap.
I mean, there's so much. There's so much that he was convicted of, and he had to serve a 5-year bid. And he got out what 2 years, maybe 2 or 3 years.
identity fraud, and grand larceny. And then they stole the identity of multiple people in Long Island and in Brooklyn in a $2 million scam.
Y'all, I wish if he did it, I wish he hadn't done it. You hate to accuse a pastor. You hate to accuse anybody of doing something like that. But it's just, things just add up funny.
Christelle
And
Gilmore.
sometimes some stuff can be funny and it still be like we had that to do. But it's kind of either or.
Christelle Gilmer said that man is the real definition of a false prophet. I'm not God and I'm not here to judge, but I am a woman of faith and I'm a very spiritual person, and God is not a man that he should lie or repent, and that man is a con artist. Call us, Miss Gilmer, 205-310-6067. Once again, 205-310-6067. Let's hear your version of what you think. She said at one time, she think it was insurance. And then she said, I pray it wasn't an inside job, but none of that set right with my spirit. And then she said, the love of money is the root to all kinds of evil. All kinds of evil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And people don't believe that wolves in sheep clothing are in pulpit, nor do they think that the spirit of Simon isn't in the pulpit anymore, in males and females.
Let me ask you this.
But it is.
Well, let me ask you this. And I can kind of agree with some of the opinion, but if you play the lottery and won that 810 million tonight, what would you do with it, Pastor?
Ooh.
Huh? Say if you won that $810 million tonight, in that mega million.
Hey, we got Miss Gilbert on the phone as well.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Talk to us. Talk to you. What you think? Do you think this is real, or this is something that just plotted and for what? Personal gain? What?
Definitely personal gain. It's all about personal gain when it comes to these type of preachers. Like I said, I'm not I'm not here to judge anybody, but when you spiritual, you just spiritual, and it's definitely personal gain. You stream live, then you have a deacon or arm bearer or whatever he is sitting in the corner, like literally legs crossed, tongues elbow. It's like a whole plan. You can see it.
It just don't sit right with you for this go.
It don't sit right with my sin. I mean, me and my mama, we laughed about it. I mean, God forgive me if it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But we laughed about it only because not only are you live streaming, and then this is the type of pastor who just, I did my research, and this is one of the pastors who, um, he spoke bad about preachers going live and asking for cash app. But now you're doing the same exact thing. A lot of these preachers who back in the day, they degraded going live and accepting cash apps. But then when COVID came and that's the only option you had, then all the preachers was game. You know what I'm saying? They was on it. They was ready to accept cash apps and they, you know what I'm saying, the e-members and all that. It just don't sit right with my spirit. So, and like I said, God forgive me if I'm wrong, but it just don't sit right with me.
So you're saying Bishop Lamar Whitehead was against the payment plan the tithe being paid by Cash App?
What I'm saying is he has spoken on preachers accepting money, but obviously you're accepting money because you live in a lavish lifestyle. And I really feel like the lavish lifestyle has gotten to a point where he can't keep up. And so now it is what it is. So now we're going to go to the extreme measure. Insurance for insurance. I mean, you can see the insurance being paid just by the robbery.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at it in that point, like you already know they're gonna get paid because of that.
Because they got evidence that it took place.
Exactly.
They got the video
and
showing.
Also, Darren, if they had set stuff in the church, that would have became a federal case, right? Instead of just robbing him personally.
If they did what now?
If they had robbed the church, if they had took the tithing and offering from the church, that would have became a federal crime, right?
It's federal anyway. I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's federal anyway because they robbed the preacher.
Well, I'm gonna have to look that up because otherwise, I normally think it just have been a state state charges on the. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. That it was state charge, and you know what I'm saying. But if they had robbed the church,
but what are the relationship between churches and federal government though? Because the church and federal government do have a relationship. There are certain things that apply to the church. So what is the relationship with that?
It's not.
I'm thinking it's gonna be federal.
It's not FDIC. It's not.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's gonna be federal.
These funds are not FDIC. These are just funds taken up.
Well, what if they took the offering, the tithes and the offering too? We didn't see all of that.
They said they didn't take.
But he's reporting as far as what we know that he's reporting.
Well, tithes and offerings, it falls under the 501c3. Mm-hmm. That's what every college program uses that people don't know about.
There's gonna be some federal.
They use 501c3 so they won't have to pay taxes on the money they get. Churches fall in that same category, so they don't have to pay taxes. That eliminates the federal government being involved.
So does it eliminate the federal government
separate the church and state?
So does it eliminate the federal government when the tithes and offering are also separated to pay the pastor his payroll?
Well, I think offerings are not solely to pay the pastor. The tithes and offering goes through several different things before the they go into the building fund. They go into the simple amenities that the church needs: water, gas, power, the groundwork, reconstruction or any kind of construction on the church. Now, as Mike stated earlier about this, about the church, when it comes to the house of God, period, it's built there in the community. It's supposed to be providing whatever the community needs. That's exactly what the house of God is supposed to do. The pastor of that house and could be the members, what their tithes and offerings take care in the church is also supposed to be used to take care of the community.
Now,
so when the community comes to the church and say, hey, we need thus and so, we need thus and so, they don't have to do all the things people are doing, or they don't have to worry, and they will, it's supposed to be supplied, like if they need rent money, or if they need a power bill paid, they're supposed to go pay that power bill for that individual. Because that's how it's supposed to be set up. That's the way God wanted it to be set up. So the church, the people will come to the church, and the church helps them supply for their needs. When pastors get paid, it's not all the money. It's not all the tithes and offerings going straight to his pocket. I don't know where that came from, but that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody think that all of the
I don't think all of it goes to the pastor.
That's how it's said. That's how it's said. And
But I think we're trying to get back. We're trying to get to the point of is this crime a federal crime?
Right.
I think we're trying to get to, and I think, there's a separation of church and state. Doesn't really always doesn't to the crime though. Separation of church and state applies to a lot of things, but we're talking about an armed robbery.
It don't have nothing to do with the federal government.
No, we're talking about an armed robbery. We're talking about the crime, and it would be a federal crime. Would be the federal government.
The reason why I asked that question was because no one else got robbed in the church other than that pastor and his wife. They didn't tell the tithes and offerings, so that would have made it a state crime. If they had touched anything pertaining to the church, it became a federal crime.
Well,
Right. And that's a part of the crime.
And committing a crime, doesn't that make that a federal charge?
No, ma'am.
No, it depends on.
Okay, here's what we got. Let me explain what we got. Okay.
I think a federal law was broken somewhere, but I don't know if it's specific what we're saying because we understand the separation of church and state. Churches, they follow the 501c, like you said, they have tax exemption, but that still don't mean certain crimes that are committed in their church wouldn't go against federal law. That's just like if Al Capone came in and did a prostitution and racketeer and sent folks from New York to Alabama, the federal government don't get in there because you cross the lines, and that has to do with their church.
Mm-hmm. But here's what we got with
so
this.
So there are some crimes that will do apply.
This is a state charge. This robbery is a state charge. It's not a federal charge. Due to the fact that now, if it was a hate crime for somebody, specifically going after this black church and all black churches, then you could probably put a federal crime, a federal package together saying that this was a hate crime that people were burning black churches because you had a specific race that.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think it relates to the crime.
But robbery of this particular nature, this particular situation, is just a plain state charge, robbery of the first degree. And that's because they were armed. In Alabama, because they armed, this is a first degree felony robbery of the first degree. Even if they would have stole the money of the pulpit, the plate, the offering, tithes and offering. Even if they'd have took that, you would have been looking at still robbery in the first degree, not by in other words, you're not calling FBI in. But let's say they robbed this church, then they went to another black church, or vice versa, they went to a Mexican church or a white church or a Catholic church. They specifically look at particular races of church. Then we probably get FBI involvement at that point. But at this point, I think we're looking at just plain robbery in the first degree, according to here in Alabama. For example, people break in churches all the time. That's church property. It's still not a FDIC situation. It's just a state charge of someone breaking and entering of a church.
That's why Dylan Roof was charged with federal charges because it was a hate crime when he finished shot the people in the church.
That's correct.
I think that not only just a killing, I think there are certain crimes that can be the federal government can step in, but just not this one. And I think he studied it, but he did himself. If he did it allegedly, it looks like he might have would want to do some type of federal charge because federal time is different from state time. Because then you're looking at trying maybe going back to the state penitentiary instead of federal.
Here's a story right here. Teen facing felony charges with stealing tithing checks from church. This happened in Utah, not Utah, Alabama, the state of Utah. An 18-year-old man is in the Juab County Jail and charged with felony theft, burglary, and felony mischief for reportedly breaking into a church with two other men and taking tithing checks. Tithing refers to the practice of someone giving a portion of their income to the church. A police charging document showed David Rohner, 18, turned himself in at the Joab County Sheriff Department on April the 23rd, 2022, after reporting waiving his Miranda rights, told officials that he and two other men entered a church building in Rocky Ridge on April 13th. Surveillance video reported showing them leaving the church and then returning on the second try after the use of a fire extinguisher. Said the men broke into boxes containing tithing church. So that's something similar. But
what made it federal? What made it federal?
This is not federal. It's still not federal.
Daryl, what made it federal? What's the article saying that made it federal?
No, it made it a felony. It's a felony charge.
It made it a felony. Okay, I thought you said a federal crime, but you said a felony. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's see. I can't find any circumstances during my little research that I'm looking at. You got a hate crime, then you got the civil rights violation, but nothing that's constitute robbing.
Nothing that would make the robbery of federal.
Right. Of a church.
Yeah, I think it was the federal case because Tina, I think, it has some sort of involvement in she's not on the federal level, more of the state level. So that's the reason why I was thinking that it was not a federal level church. And I also thought that might have been the reason why you didn't touch anything other than what the pastor had on. And unless you would just cover directly for them because you got some sort of beef with the pastor and his wife, like you said, a robber is a robber is a robber. They come in and you got a collection plate right there that's got nothing in it but green folded money. That's gonna be the first thing you take. It's really truly not even something that you can even, for most intent purposes, track. So you can track their jewelry because they take it to a jewelry shop and try to find it or whatever. They know it. A lot of jewelry got serial numbers on it. You can track all of that stuff. So it'll be easier for them to take the money other than the jewelry. But they went strictly for jewelry in his wallet and her belongings.
What's her name on the phone? What's her name?
Miss Gill.
They had already been.
Well, she said she feeling her spirit. Y'all heard it.
On what to do. I mean, like I said, look, Lord forgive me if I'm wrong, but it just don't feel Deep was too calm in the comment for me.
Look, Deep said,
it's like it was like a role being played, and it was like a script. I mean, Pastor barely ducked down in slow motion. I mean, y'all seen the video.
Yeah, honestly, having been involved in a robbery myself, I know that when it came down to getting on the ground, I don't think I've ever moved faster.
You were down there expeditiously. I know.
Exactly. I tried to get underneath the concrete.
Right.
Uh, so it was. I mean, as far as like, I don't know. Some people are braver. Like Daryl might have took that and been like, okay, man, here, take this. And
Look,
then I'm not that one.
I've
I'm
never
actually gonna think.
I've
And
never
I
been
will
drunk.
give him the benefit of the doubt, being that he has a criminal history, so he may have been in some situations like that to make him not move so fast. And my heart goes out to anybody who's accustomed to that type of thing. Robberies and things like that. You know what I'm saying? If he's accustomed to that. But at the same token, I don't care. It don't matter to me. I grew up in the city, so I'm not. I mean, I'm used to it, but I'm not accustomed to it. You come in with a gun, I'm getting down low.
So
That,
where
that's true.
are you from? New York?
I'm getting true.
You
They,
from New
they, they
York?
when they came in that store and they pulled that gun and I just laid down, you would have thought that, like, seriously, they thought I had fainted. That's how I sat right there on the ground.
Miss
And
Gilmore,
I was gonna play that role.
are you from New York, Miss Gilmore, or just another major city?
Huh?
Are you from New York area?
I'm from Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So right
In other words, yes.
Okay.
In
Okay.
other
right
words,
next
yes.
door. Yeah, I'm from Hartford. Literally not even an hour away from New York.
Okay. Okay. I got a good friend
Yeah.
that lives right there in Hartford, Connecticut. Got relatives in Hartford. But being I used to be one of the top premier robber investigators here locally at one time. It my first, if I was doing this investigation, I would start probably with the pastor. I would. I would have to, first of all, like you say, and he's known now, but he's known to be showing off the jury and everything, so that's not uncommon. But at
And
this,
which is nothing wrong with that. Let me add that little bit. There's
no.
nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Because, hey, I'm a woman. Like I said, I'm a woman of faith. I'm a spiritual person, but I like to dress up and I like my jewelry. Even if I was a pastor or a woman of that, standard, then I would love to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Even as little old me now, I still like jewelry. So I can imagine if I had it like that, what it would be. But at the same token, it was just someone right with that.
Well,
And
what I would
the
do.
other thing that seemed to kind of add on to the fire of what we're talking about tonight was when Daryl said that it is projected that he owes about $200,000, right, Daryl?
250,000. Mm-hmm.
50,000.
250.
$250,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so once again, that could have been, hey, I thought I had $1 million worth of jewelry, so insurance fraud, now I can pay off that $250,000 debt, and I still got me some money left over after that, plus my jewelry.
Plus my insurance.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, when he said that was a story, I was like, I just didn't know. And I just had energy because, like, I want to know we got thing all full circle. We about to get in there security, and like I said, that was a topic. But I've been hearing, and people up in that area like, oh, come on, man. So I'm like,
But
I just had to put it out there because what we have just talked about that aspect of. I was been getting off the phone feeling like, man, I wanted this man.
is it legit?
Because Sean said something about rappers and stuff. They go to all these places and they got all that jewelry and stuff on. When they get robbed, most time they like, dang, I got robbed. It ain't even like I'm putting out this. It's been some years ago, but the star Romeo, little Romeo came to Birmingham, and he had on a expensive chain, and they stole his chain off around his neck in Birmingham. And the only thing he did was jump in what's called said they got me. Because you kind of know what you getting into when you wearing expensive jewelry like that. Now most times that jewelry ain't real, but if it is and somebody get it, guess what? You just got. Now
Sometimes it's on the loaner and the insurance and the jury people got insurance on it.
exactly. But now when you talking about this guy, this supposed to be all his personal jewelry. Still trying to figure out why you got two watches on and rings that's blinging so hard that if you put your hands on the podium, You can't see nothing.
Because it's a setup, man.
Hey,
I'm sorry, like I just see it as that. You know, like I say this, I've been saying this all day. Lord forgive me if I'm wrong. But it's something ain't right with that. And it's sad to say that men, a lot of pastors, I'm not gonna say men, I'm not gonna single out any sex, but a lot of pastors and preachers just really look at preaching as a get rich quick scheme. And it is. It really is. If you just sit back and think about it, all you gotta do is tell a person, God got so many blessings for you. Duh. You know what I'm saying? If I know if I live right, God gonna bless me. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bless on that, but I know if I live right, He gonna give me everything that my heart desires.
Man, look, let me tell you something. Ever since the cousin pastor came out, anything possible.
Anything is possible.
Anything possible. Ever since I heard the cousin pastor had a twerking contest, anything possible.
You put it out there, and you can tell. It's so many millions of people in this world, and you can tell 20,000 one thing, and they believe it, and they on board for whatever you say. You can tell 20,000 people anything.
Yeah.
And they're gonna believe it.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad. It's sad it's like that. But it is what it is. You got a man that got a history. And I'm not saying God will not change anybody because God is a God of change. God is a moving God. But at the same cost, you got so many people. And one thing about it, if you're a spiritual person, you can see right through it. And they're right there. This ain't that, and that ain't this.
Well, some people's minds are just a little bit weaker than others. I gotta say that too now.
that's absolute truth. That's absolute truth.
It just for some reason, and this gonna start a whole nother conversation, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Why do you feel that men have less faith in pastors than women do?
I would say that
Sometimes coming from another man.
Because what now?
Men on men.
Because what? I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
I would co-sign with that too, and also that it's a little bit of cynicism when it comes down to other guys too. Like man, you do the same thing I do.
Or you want the same thing I want.
They look at every last one of these male pastors around here right now, and they're like, man, you do the same thing I do. You probably got this going on behind closed doors, but it just ain't caught you yet, but I'm sure you do. Or I saw you looking at that woman over there, or say anything that a guy might do, they'll sweep down a pastor's doing all day, every day.
Girls and women not gonna jump on board with the same thing another female is doing. But men, I don't know what it is. There's a weakness in men that when they see another man doing something, they feel like, well, they can do it better, or I'm gonna show him. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like men fall weaker to following than they do to leading. That's why, and it all goes back to the beginning with Adam and Eve. Adam decided to follow what Eve said versus to go with what he knew. Mm-hmm. And I feel like men, I'm not saying y'all are weaker, but sometimes men follow more than they lead.
Some men are leaders and some are weak, some are followers.
Some are leaders, but a lot of them are followers, and that's why you have women coming up on such an rise. I know this is way off topic, but that's why you have, in most cases, the woman really is leading more than the man is because men have a tendency to follow. And I'm not saying, I don't know if it's out of jealousy. I don't know if it's out of I can do it better. I think it's more out of pride and ego that I can do it better than you. And I think that is what men follow more. You know what I'm saying? Versus leading and creating his own path. And I'm not saying about y'all too. I'm just saying about, just in general.
I can't lay that on most. I can't even lay that on a certain amount. I would say that's a very small number.
You think so?
I know so. That's a very small number.
Okay.
Of men who think that way. Um, when you look for that inspiration, that male inspiration, when it comes to worship, uh, being a part of a worship service, yeah, you do see that leadership. You do see that more women being involved. Um, I remember when I first started going, and I looked around, and I was like, why ain't no men standing up? Praise the God. I see all the men that have just about got their arms folded and just sitting there. But the women, they up, they clapping, they shouting, they thanking God. And the men just sitting there. You know what God told me? He said, why don't you get up
And lead the men. Right.
And so I did. And I never stopped from that point. When it comes to just generally out in the street, it's the same thing. Um, they're still looking because you're right to the point where how men have stepped away and dropped the ball, so to speak. Um, but that male figure, we still need it. You know, I grew up that way, needing a male figure. My dad wasn't in my life at all.
But look how many men are lacking that.
So
it's a lot of men that are lacking the male figure. To get back all the way on task here, we used to have the church was the center part of all our communities. It is no longer the center part of our communities. When you talk about the churches right now trying to unite so that we can have a better community for everybody, the one thing that holds everything back is every last one of them pastors, those churches want to know who's gonna be in charge. Every last one of them want to be in charge. Nobody wants to take a fellowship a role. They got to have some sort of leader, and everybody wants to be the leader. So therefore, they can't get nothing accomplished because I can do it better than him. I can do it better than him. I can do it better than him. We're sitting here right now talking about the West Side got over 100 churches on every corner of the West Side, and they talk about how nothing's really getting done on the West Side. That's one of the reasons. As far as mentorship programs go, no one wants to put that kind of money into a mentorship program. There's a few churches that will, but not all of them. Not all of them will put money into a program to make these young men what we expect for them to be. You got some people that go out there like how many young men you know right now that don't know how to tie a tie? When we were little, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago about how we got kids now that they got to have a brand new car when they in high school and getting out of high school. We had little hoopties. I know I did, and my mechanic, by no way, shape, form, or fashion am I a mechanic. But if something went wrong with my car, I bet you I went up underneath the hood of it. We got young people right now, boy, you can lift the hood up, they don't know what they're looking at all. Mm-hmm. That's because who's showing them how to do this stuff? We don't have men showing other men how to do these things. I had my grandfather who showed me how to do a lot of stuff. Everybody is not as fortunate to have somebody like that.
Now most of these young boys, all they have is mama.
Exactly.
And you know, and I'm not saying a woman can't raise a boy to be a man, but you definitely can't teach him how to be a man. It's the difference between teaching and raising.
You're absolutely right. You can't expect a woman to show you all the nuances of being a man because she don't know all the nuances of being a man. She's never been a man.
Exactly.
It's just like if you had a father trying to raise his daughter, he can't teach her all the nuances of being a woman because she's never been a woman.
He can show her.
He can show her the game about what guys are gonna come in her with. But as far as it's a lot of things that I think our young ladies need their mothers for, and I think there's a lot of things that our young men need their fathers for. And for some reason, we have gotten away from it. It's like mama's having to take care of father duties and mother duties. And then you have a few fathers out there that's trying to step up, and they're doing the best that they can.
And sometimes you have the situations where the mamas won't let them.
Exactly.
And that's an even added situation.
Exactly.
Wow.
But like Daryl gives the time every summer to apparel or the Y to teach baseball. You know what I'm saying? And they usually have a bunch of folks out there that's out there teaching baseball. And every year you have people. We got people that's out there doing stuff for the Power League, the football, the flag football league, the basketball tournaments and stuff like that. But it's not enough of these people. There are way more kids than there are men to actually help coach these positions.
Uh-huh.
It becomes very, very difficult. It becomes very difficult. And the same thing with our young ladies. We got a lot of young ladies that are out there right now just working, and they don't know how to do any of the house work. That like cooking and stuff like that. I know a lot of young ladies that have never gotten in the kitchen and sat in the kitchen with their mothers and learned how to cook.
That's because mama is 20 and grandma 38.
Yeah, you're right.
And great grandmama is 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's cause of that now. But hey, but what about when mama was 15? My grandmama had my mama when she was 15 years old. Y'all know back in the day, they was 14 and 15 having our grandparents and great grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And my mama, my grandmama, and my great grandmama know how to throw down in the kitchen. I wasn't no kitchen person, but I wasn't no bad kid. But I watched and saw what I needed to know how to cook and feed my kids. It seems like some of these people just ain't even getting the bare minimum to do what they need to do. They just like going to get that pizza, going to get a hot dog. Not saying my kids never had a hot dog, but I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
I think the times are different because back then women weren't in the working field as they are now.
And they weren't in that partying field that's like it is now too. They weren't in that working field and they weren't out there in that I gotta shake a tail feather field. They was in that cotton field. They was in that cotton field.
And see, and then when they was in the cotton field, they had the kids with them. My mama tells me all the time how she picked cotton with her mom and all her sisters and sisters. See, mama was more closer to her children. I drive truck. When I first started driving truck, I was gone 2 weeks at a time. I have a daughter and I have 3 boys. I have 4 children. And the only option I had left after so many failed attempts of trying to go to nursing school and failed attempts at this career and that career, I said, you know what, I'm gonna just go for a drive truck. It's a big, economic industry, the money gonna be good. But I was gone 2 weeks at a time, away from my children. I'm not saying my children, I'm praying that they won't, resent me for that. But at the same time, I missed a lot. And I'm still missing a lot. I drive local now, but I drive 12, 13 hours a day. When I get home, it's time to hurry up and get ready for bed.
It's so even past homework time.
2 or 3 in the morning.
Mm.
And so by the mother, and I feel that, my son got into so much stuff by me not being at home. My son is 15 years old. I have a testimony, y'all. My son is 15 years old. He has 2 babies. Every single time they got a baby on the way. I have a daughter who's 12 years old and says she like girls. I have a testimony because mothers are not in the homes with the children like they used to be because the system has been so set up for fathers to be out of the home. Your father gonna be out the home or you ain't gonna get no help. That's what the government tell me.
And her testimony, everything we've been talking about lately, recently too.
Yep.
And not only being out the home, my 15-year-old son, he got 2 kids. He found guidance in a 20-some-year-old boy who been in and out of jail who think NBA young boys they biggest role model.
Yep.
So, I'm praying hard. I'm praying and I'm crying hard. I'm going to bed at night with tears, pillow wet full of tears because I'm trying to save my son. So, I mean, we have to think about, you know, it's not like it used to be. And that's why I had to end. But I noticed though, with these children these days, these children are very intelligent. They are so intelligent. They way more intelligent. And I'm just an 80s baby. I'm just 37 years old.
That's all I'm saying. You sound 30 something, but see, it's not like it used to be. But that's what y'all talking. It should be. It should be. You can't say something to somebody's child now when the mom's gone. Like you say, you gone 2 weeks at a time. I'm not saying you, but you got some moms. If they gone 2 weeks at a time, and the neighbor come and say, I was watching out and looking out, and he did so and so and so and so and so. It's not your business. It's my house. You know what I'm saying? It's like sometimes when the village even tries to be there, there can be no village.
Exactly. Well, I'm not that because, like I said, I was part of this generation who saw my 80-some-year-old grandmama, and I know how it is. My mama left us with our grandmama, and I know my grandmama would tear that tail up in the neighborhood, and the neighbors do too. So I'm not that mama who feel like, saying you can't come to me and tell me something about my child. But one thing, I know my child. And that's another thing wrong with.
But see, we know you ain't that mama just from the sheer thing, the fact that you put that all on the table to us, what, y'all, in 3 minutes? Mm-hmm. You gave us like not your whole testimony, but enough for us to know what's going on to know that you're not that mama.
No, I'm not that mama at all. And the one thing I don't tolerate, my biggest pet peeve is disrespect. You ain't gonna disrespect me. You ain't gonna disrespect the neighbor and whoever else is trying to come in and tell you something right. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a lot wrong with a lot of these parents is you feel like a person can't tell your child nothing. Well, that's why your child doing the things that they doing is because you feel like can't nobody else tell them nothing. So your child it really is a reflection of who you are inside your home.
That's right. My mama told every last teacher I ever had that if you need to tell him up, then call me. Then when he get home, and most times I never got a pal in that school, but I done had them conferences to the point where you had to make that walk home, and she was like, "Okay, I'll meet you at the house," and you already know what the deal is when you get there. So, and hopefully you make it there before she do, so you can try to prepare. And it never worked. I done put on 3 shirts, 4 or 5 pair of socks.
No, they don't work, man.
No, it don't work. It don't work at all.
It don't work at all. It's even worse when you live across the street from the school and they can see your mama in the kitchen cooking. I have taken mine in the school and I've taken mine out of the school. I have been taken home by a teacher, so I couldn't get it and brought back to school. It's not a good thing. That hurt.
My mother. Wait a minute. Can you say you was taking home from school and brought back to school?
Yes, my teacher. I got small with her, and she said she would say nothing. She could dab her face. And she picked up her car keys. I saw her walking through the door. I went from the man to the girl. Real quick, like, where you going? You ain't supposed to be leaving. Yes, we all can leave. I said, we? Yeah, we're going to go to your house. I said, wait a minute. What? I thought we were going to the office.
Wait a minute. Your mama didn't pick you up. The teacher took you to the house?
No. This is the middle of the day. And he told one of the girls in the class, take over the class, she get back. And she walked to the front door to the class. She said, come on, let's go. So we went out the side door to the school, got in the car. She drove me home. And she stood in front of the door, and I stood behind her because I knew what was about to happen. And she knocked on the door. My mom came to the door, saw her standing there. She stepped inside and seen me. My mom said, "Come on in." I already knew what time it was. She sat right there in the living room. My mom pulled out a big wheelchair to lay on the cross there. Yeah, I ain't got to ask her nothing. And she could make
you had to ask your mama, back then you didn't have to ask somebody nothing. You already knew time.
So kind the teacher took you to your house. It wasn't your mama came and got you and took you home and got you back. The teacher, Lord Jesus, she had full reign. Look, see, that's what the village is right there.
She took me to the house and brought me back to school.
Yeah, it's bad enough if your parent come get you.
But when your teacher take you to your house,
Yeah.
It's bad enough if your parent come get you, but if your teacher take you, look, first of all, they'll tell you right there, man, they best buddies. You can't do nothing. That let you know from that you can't do
at
nothing.
that point you done did too much.
Look,
I got my worst one because I called the teacher a lot, and that was a cuss word.
You know a lie. Just that word is a cuss word to our
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm. I said,
I'm
Mama, she lying.
And play.
I said, Mama, she lying.
I was even
And when as soon as I said that, everybody got quiet in there, and they told, she said, go on to the house. And I already knew then what the deal was. It didn't matter what I said after that. I don't care if I was innocent or guilty. I was guilty from that point on because I called that grown woman a lie.
Oh yeah. No, you don't do that. And see the relationship between parents and teachers, all that's been demolished.
Mm-hmm.
I say all the time, if you're a parent, it shouldn't be only when your child playing a sport. I don't care if you're a grandparent, uncle, I don't care if you're aunt, I don't care. It shouldn't be the only time you go spend time at that child's school when they're playing a sport. If you're going to spend more than an hour, try and do it in 2 different classes that they take. Sitting back, coming out with a composition book, take notes.
Do you even hear about them parent teacher conference meetings? The ones they used to have after school. I don't even know if they have them no more, do they?
I hadn't heard nothing, but even what we're talking about the breakdown of the black family. We're talking about the breakdown of leadership within the black family and black community, not just the church. But
the church is where it all started.
We talk no. It started outside the church. It went into the church. Because the church didn't call men not to be there in their home. Men called it to happen.
That's right. I say a lot of times the system has its flaws, just like stopping parents from coming to the school whenever they felt like it. Now, if you're a parent that you routed, you shouldn't put in a situation where you had to contact the kids. But a lot of times, a man can't be in 3-4 different houses. He got 3 or 4 different baby mamas.
That's true too.
And see, sad enough, you just said something that was my dad. Everywhere he went, except in my mama's house, he left 3 and 4 kids. So, and I haven't found the set number of how many brothers and sisters I really got. So far, I have found 8 that are 1 younger than me and 7 older than me. So, I don't know where I fall at.
Well, you know what? We say we can't put it on the system because, like I said, a man gonna do what a man gonna do. But when you think about it, a lot of the things that was passed down from the slavery days, they had to make different families. Some stuff is like epigenetics. It's not really hereditary, but it's your environment, your social situation. So you got back then, those men too, because of the system had 3-4 different families because you were sold to the highest bidder, and they want you to go procreate. And it seems like that's something that's stuck. And now we're not the only ones who do it, but it's a bad problem. It is a bad problem, and we can't just say, well, the system did it because now we do know how to do better. You learn better, you do better. There are still some men who just they can't be in one house because they got. If you want to be in your child's life, they can be in their child's life as possible. But the best way is to be in the home. You can't be in 3 or 4 different homes.
You're right.
So so it was set up back even from the system back then. But now that we can do a little bit better, it seems like a lot of them aren't doing that.
On purpose.
Not to take the credit from the ones who are. We're just saying when we talk about the issues in the community.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
I mean, you have the mindset of the young man. With that mindset right there you just talked about, they picture themselves as players. And I used to work with a couple of young men years ago who thought that very same way. And I explained to them, the girlfriend knows about the other girlfriend, or baby mom. He said, no. The girlfriend said, no. I said, do they don't know about the third girl? And both of them said, no. And I said, let me help y'all understand something. You're not a player. You can play. You can play and you're playing yourself. I said, just because you got a woman over here and a woman over here and a woman over here, and you running around, you doing all the running around, trying to please and satisfy each household, they're not going nowhere. So who the player? If you doing all the running around, if you doing all the spinning, if you doing all the that, who the player? You're not the player, you can play. You playing yourself. I said, back when I came up, the real player, guess what? All those women was in the same house and all of them knew each other. He didn't have to go nowhere to one house. Because all of them were there, even if they had kids. All of them were right there. I said, those are the players I grew up knowing and that talked to us and showed us stuff. But I said, y'all, man, you know what I'm saying? They don't know each other. They don't know you messing with each other. They don't know nothing. You the one doing all running around.
Especially these days.
Unbeknownst to them, they're playing you.
Especially these days because women are stronger than they have ever been. Way more stronger. Like I honestly and I'm not here to bash men because honestly a lot of these too strong ways and a lot of these too independent ways that women have nowadays, I really thought
adopted.
I really thought our parents. I really thought our parents because our parents became too independent. I look at my mama sometimes and I feel like she became too independent. And there's nothing wrong with dependent on the right man. You know what I'm saying? And I look at my mama and I look at some of the things that I grew up seeing, and it's not right. It's like it's really not right how I fought. I don't know who to fault. I fought a lot of I fought a lot of us. I fought a lot of my mom's ways because they became to a place where they got too independent and they felt like they didn't need a man for anything. And I ain't gonna say I don't need no man. I'm just not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? Because I need mine because I know what he provides. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you have to look past certain things because if I can deal with your crazy, you gotta deal with my crazy. And I feel like a lot of things that my mom taught me, a lot of grudges she held, and I don't know if it's because of what she saw, but I do feel like a lot of women, especially my mom's age, she's 65. In that era, that generation, I really feel like they became too independent and now she's just here and she's just lonely. She's just here by herself. And I don't want to end up like that. And I think we put too much fault on the man. When a lot of things are on the woman for real. If we could just step back and take a look at some things and the things that we were taught, and just pray and ask God to rid us some of those things because we know better. We know better. All we gotta do is do better.
Might sound like she's hitting on some of your.
I need you to tune in on Sunday at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Live Extension, Soundproof Radio.
I will, no problem. I do have
Actually,
something to say.
actually, I would like for you to get on the show.
This has been my prayer for a long time, is to reach out to the younger women, because I think when it comes to 80s, 80s babies, and like I said, I'm not trying to put no fault on just no one set group of people, but 80s babies is kind of the last generation to see the older generation. And
That's
to
great.
see the days when we had respect and we knew how to, treat older people. We knew how to treat men, and men knew how to treat women. We kind of that last generation to see that.
I think you're quite right.
I gotta agree
really
with
want to reach out to some of these 80s babies, because we got to teach these girls how to be women, because they is growing up to be men. They think they have a man mind frame, and they growing up very disrespectful to the man. And don't sit around and think you don't need no man, baby girl.
you.
I think that that's quite right, but I also
The
think that
Bible says that it is
Eddie
not
Baby
good.
was the last one that got eaten out too.
The Bible says it's
The
not good for
influence is
men
different.
to be alone. And that wasn't just when people see man in the Bible, that just go for human. When the Bible talks about a woman, it speaks of a woman, and when it talks about a man, it speaks of a man. But when it talks about it is not good for man to be alone, that is human. That is man and woman. It is not for us. It is not good for us to be alone.
Uh-oh. You got a whole nother conversation to start now.
And that's what God placed. That's why Adam couldn't go without Eve. And that's why Eve couldn't go without Adam, because we need each other. And somebody got to say it. And somebody got to be real about it. Ain't no sugarcoating, beating around the bush, and telling these girls, well, you go and do this. And my daughter thinks she like girls. I'm not going to make her believe that. I'm not going to not love her. And I'm not going to not tell her that you wrong. But I am going to tell her that's not right. That's not how it's supposed to be.
You take it to the book. She can't argue with the book.
And she's not going to argue with the book, because one thing, I have my children in church. And I have my children in church. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they went on and made their own decision at 15. My son has two babies. They December, January, February, 2 months apart by two different girls. And that's what I mean. It's like some of this stuff is like, and how do you, like if you say, a lot of times I don't hear people even quite say it. Look, they say, well, the system, they made it so you can't be in the home, you get the apartment, you can't. Well, okay, what if you good, you in the system, they say you and this man can have this apartment, but then he got a baby over here promising another woman the world too. So he getting two free places to live. That's what I'm saying. So like, is this people blaming on the system? A lot of times it's the person. Exactly. It's not always the system. It's the person. Sometimes it's the person. You fall foolish to anything the parents tell you, then that's on you. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you better, and I'm gonna tell you can get better, and I'm gonna tell you deserve better. And if you want better, what you need to do is just sit back and wait till better comes to you.
Well, you're absolutely
Somebody got to tell them, because I feel like the 80s babies, that's where it starts and that's where it stops at. Because beyond that, ain't no help for them. No, we done went from the pastor, we done went from 180 from the pastor to get these girls some knowledge. Because the woman is who sets the foundation in the home. And if we don't teach these girls that, they gonna grow. We raising these girls to be men.
Okay, so
I
Thursday.
feel like my mama raised me to be a man.
So Thursday.
And I had to learn a lot. I had to learn to shut my mouth, because I felt like I was above a man, and it is not so. It's not like that. And if we don't teach these girls that, then they are lost.
Thursday.
Put me on there, baby.
Thursday. Tune in Thursday. Mike, we gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I
Hey,
gotta
I
go.
tell you what, you check out Battle of the Second, tell me what you think about it, then you get me up.
Okay.
Well, Thursday.
But I'm here.
You can see
You
it
can
on
always get my
YouTube.
prayer because one thing about me, I'm gonna take you straight, no chaser. You know what I'm saying? I used to drink my Hennessy. I ain't chasing with nothing. I just used to turn the ball up.
Okay, then.
And throw the top away. Straight, no chaser. So that's how I feel like if I can take Henny like that, I can give it to you raw like that. And I'm
And that's how we do it on Battle of the Sexes. Like I said, check it. Go to YouTube, type in Soundbook Radio 1061, and you'll be able to pull up some. You can pull up the last couple of shows we did, which was dealing with some of the same topic. And the next week gonna be kind of on the same realm. So it's very very laid back. It's very very honest. We don't sugarcoat anything. Like the men tell their side, women tell their side, and some we hope that we get on the same page by the end. It hardly ever happens, but it still is something that we can be more informed about each other. So that's where it's Battle of the Sexes is coming in.
Tell about tomorrow, Mike. Tell about the show tomorrow. I'm about to get ready to sound off.
Tomorrow night we do have the Team Summit with the mayor. It's scheduled to be on. Also, Miss Tina Sanders is going to be on with us. Also, Team Summit. We're going to talk to some of our youth. They're going to tell us some things that's been bothering them about the state of Tuscaloosa to the mayor. And we're going to do more than just talk. We're coming up with solutions as well. We're going to try to implement some of these things because we have a lot of talk and nothing ever happen. We're gonna try to implement. We're gonna have these solutions and get some timetables on when we can get stuff started. So that starts tomorrow night at 7 p.m. You can check it out on Soundbooth Radio. You can check it out on my webpage. Daryl, you gonna be available? Or?
Yeah. Share it to my Facebook page too, and I'll be listening in.
Okay. So you can check it out on Daryl's TTown 401 page as well. So
you said that's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night at 7 p.m.
Okay. I'll definitely be tuning in. I got something to say. It's always been my prayer to talk to young girls and women. I haven't been married yet. I am about to get married. Congratulations to me. Finally.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. It has always been my prayer because I see so many women and young girls who are so misguided. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I feel like, our parents raised us to be men. It's not, and I'm not backlashing, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being independent. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with getting your own money, but there is a fine line between being feminine and acting like you run-ish. And you can't act like that as a woman. You want to come out, you want to be married, you want to be this, but ain't no man gonna accept you when you trying to be over him. And that is not the order that the Bible says that goes. And see, one thing about me, I'm gonna give him the word too. And the man is the head. And it doesn't mean that he is superior over you. It means that whatever blessings fall is gonna fall on him first. Whatever bad happens is gonna fall on him first. And if you don't respect and honor that, then you will be lonely or lesbian all your life.
Sunday night, 8 p.m. Battle of the Sexes. Save me as a friend so I can send you the link.
What's your name on them?
Michael K. Wilson.
Michael K. Wilson. I'm friends with Daryl, but I'm about to look you up right now.
Okay.
Just hear me. I'm wearing a black and purple tuxedo, sports and shades. That's back before I got broke down.
I just added you as a friend.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll make sure.
Okay.
We do hope that everybody will tune in tomorrow to listen to what our youth have to say as well. If you have any thing to say, you can also type that stuff in. I'm gonna try to have the phone lines up so that y'all can call in. Not exactly sure how that's gonna work out. But we definitely gonna do this. This is gonna be the third change something that we've done with the mayor. So we trying. We trying.
Okay. Okay. What's your name again? I don't know why I keep forgetting.
Crystal.
Probably because I've been moving around. Huh?
Crystal.
Me?
Yeah. Crystal. Crystal Gilman.
Gilmer, Gilmer.
Okay. Okay. Crystal Gilman. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, good. You can preach. You can preach tonight, child. You had Tuesday Bible study for the women. I know. Yes, you have, but we can have some wine for the communion.
What y'all know about God is a man, like he does not lie. And when you pray and your heart desires something, it has been my prayer for years and years. I just want to reach some women. I just want to reach some souls, and especially our women because they just lost, and our young girls are so lost. And I don't care if I just change one. One is enough for me. My soul will be so satisfied because I wish somebody had grabbed me by the hand and showed me something. I don't say I hate, but the fact that I had to go through so much in order to learn so much, and which is God's plan. You know what I'm saying? It is God's plan, and I am so very grateful for it. But at the same cost, because I had to go through so much, I have a lot to say.
I think that what you're saying is on the same road that I'm on in the aspect of trying to help the youth in particular. Because I know that the youth don't have what I had when I was coming up, and I think that they can benefit from it. So if I can help out any other youth, I am trying to do it. I don't want them to have to walk around feeling like they have to carry pistols and ARs and they don't have any outlook for the future because what they see is the only thing they can see is what's in front of them. I want them to be able to look beyond the horizon and see bigger, better things for themselves. And I know that there's a lot of things that we need to learn. Things I didn't learn until I got older. So if we get more people that feel the same way and everybody will pull together and start working, I think that we can make a dent in some stuff. We just got to get everybody together.
And our youth these days, they're smart, they're easy to catch on, and they are willing to learn. They just need someone to talk to them and someone who knows how to talk. A lot of these kids are just missing attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, that goes back to the woman not being in the home anymore and the father being forced out of the home just so the woman can get a little help. You know what I'm saying? So because these kids are missing that, and once they find somebody that gives them that attention, take them somewhere, talk to them, like they're a human being. You know what I'm saying? You got so many young mothers that cussing their girls out and calling them this and that and doing it. They put so much of their anger inside their children. They so lost that the fact that once somebody acts like they care about them and grasp on it. That's why so many females are turning to other women. And that's why so many girls are just running around with men because as soon as one give them attention, they run to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they find somebody that gives them some type of attention, good attention, they'll grasp onto it. And I know these kids will listen. You may have one or two that you gotta try to pull on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But I just being having 4 children, I know and I see. So I know what these kids want. They just want a little attention. I'm gone all the time. I work all the time. But one thing I do take some time and do, I talk to my children. And I don't cut anything with them. You know what I'm saying? I have 4 children, 3 baby daddies. I have no shame in that. If one of them that feel like their dad ain't doing, your daddy not doing nothing for you. I don't cut. I just don't sugarcoat anything with them. And I feel like that's what happened to a lot of us. Our parents hid and kept a lot of things from us, and that's why we were so lost, and that's why we had to go through the things that we went through so we could learn because our parents cut all that off. They felt like hiding it from us was doing us good, but it only made us go find out what it was that they were really trying to hide. I'm gonna be quiet.
No, hey, you all right? I think they're ready to go.
Yeah, I
I'm gonna
appreciate.
be quiet.
No, Krista,
But
I
I
appreciate it.
just feel like that's what these kids need though. They just need somebody to give them a little attention because that's all they search for. Children just want attention. They really want babies from the womb. When you talk to babies from the womb, they smile and they interact with you. What do you think a 10, 12, 14-year old gonna do? They gonna draw to you if you give them that good attention.
Crystal,
Yes, sir.
to answer your your comment relating to wanting to speak to young women, I have you set up for this Thursday as a part of a panel along with Miss Veronica talking to women. Let's talk to the women. That is going to be the subject on Thursday. You will be a part of the panel, and I'm gonna just let all women get 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 this out because you're not the only one I've heard from women point of view that they want to speak more to the younger young ladies. We always have people say we want to speak to the guys, we want to talk to the boys, we want to talk to the boys, we want to teach the men. We want you and Veronica, and I'm gonna probably put two more people on this panel for female ladies, and we're gonna let y'all explain or get what's on your heart, on your shoulders, on your mind to speak to other young women that of course, to listen. But it's gonna be let's talk to the women.
Right.
So
All right,
Thursday, if you
Daryl.
know,
I'm gonna hit up Vinny because Vinny said she want to come back down too.
okay,
So
great. I'm gonna sit back and listen because
Sound good.
we always talk about the guys or the young men ain't doing this or ain't doing that and trying to mentor them to stop the violence. But I was telling them, no, I ain't gonna even go there because
we talk about the guys, but women is who keep the guys in the house.
There you go. So Thursday,
We just the ones that keep them in the house. If you know how to act and you know how to be a lady, he will be in the house and you won't have to worry about all that.
y'all gonna have y'all very own women's conference on Thursday, right here on the TTown 411 report and our community conversation. Y'all gonna have y'all very own women's conference. Let's talk to the women.
So me and Daryl gonna shut up.
We gonna shut up, just take the phone calls. We gonna invite your friends, your church members, whoever. We just gonna let y'all talk. We gonna take the phone calls and let y'all do what
That's
y'all
all we
do.
gonna do. Take phone calls.
And I love when they ask questions because I gotta answer.
Okay. But listen, I appreciate you calling in tonight. It's time to let your women talk. So we're gonna listen to you all on Thursday, and I'm gonna get ready to go to the JOB for tomorrow. And I appreciate y'all coming in and and we're gonna follow up on this story. We all gonna keep up what happening on this investigation. If an arrest is made, if it's fabricated, whatever, we're gonna follow up on this story and keep people abreast to the $1 million jewelry stolen from a man of God. So we'll talk about that on if anything evolved between now and Thursday also. But I appreciate y'all.
Don't forget about tomorrow night with the
please
the team summit tomorrow night. Yeah, so it's gonna be at 7 p.m. Not 8, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
tomorrow night. I don't know how long we got with the mayor. He usually give us about an hour or so. But we're gonna hear from our teams, our young people. I put it like that. All of them, our young people. So, and also Miss Tina Sanders is gonna be on as well. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. I'm looking forward to this all the time. Damn girl.
Okay.
What's your name? The other young lady.
Veronica Taylor.
Veronica Taylor. Okay, I'm gonna have to look you up, baby.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank y'all, and we're gonna end the night, and we'll see y'all on Thursday. Oh, no problem.
Thank you so much for calling.
All right,
Mike. Have a good night. Please be safe. We'll see y'all back here. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. We'll see y'all back here on TTown 414.
If y'all going out, hydrate. Please hydrate.
Will do.
Get your
What
event
is it?
jumping with Caroline Shines and Impulse Band. Impulse Band has been together for over 7 years, and they haven't missed a beat yet. The band has and will play in various venues and doesn't mind traveling to you. Being led by Alabama Blues Hall of Famer herself, Mrs. Caroline Shine. Impulse has opened up for Bobby Rush, L.J. Eccles, Tank, Fantasia, Calvin Richardson, just to name a few. The Impulse Band will surely fit your need for entertainment. Dial 205-887-6859 or 205-887-5026. Or you can just email.
Hello? Hey, Rick. I had to call you to tell you that the food that you brought to the party last night was wonderful. It made me think about my grandmother's cooking. Where did you get that food, brother?
I went down to Thomas Rib Shack to pick up the ribs, but when I got there, I seen that they had more than just ribs. I seen baked chicken, fried chicken, corn muffins, vegetables, apple pie, peach pie, and I looked around and I seen a sign that told me that they got chitlins and oxtails on Sunday. All I can tell you, go down to 2931 15th Street or just give them a call like I did at area code 205-759-5010. Thomas Rib Shack, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.